Wow. Well, I have a question. Is it unthinkable that you can take old cars and create a worldwide industry? Is it unthinkable that you could create packaging so natural you could eat it? Is it unthinkable that you could build company after company, never having been in the industry before? You can, I have, and so can you. Many people believe that where they are today, in this moment, that they could not be an entrepreneur and start and create their own business. I believe anyone can be an entrepreneur who chooses to, and I am living, breathing proof that this is so. I'm a Canadian who grew up in the far north on the Alaska Highway in a small town. I didn't graduate college and I don't have business degrees. What I did do is just begin. And in that beginning, it unfolds as we go. And what I can tell you is, it is a path worth following. Our world needs more entrepreneurs. We create new jobs, new technology. We are innovators. We contribute to our community and therefore the world. We do need to foster and encourage this in all of us. I would never have thought that I would now be an angel investor and part of this movement that mentors and funds young companies, much less to be invited to speak at such a great honor on TED to you about entrepreneurship and building your own dream to success. Anything is possible. And it begins simply with dreaming your own dream. When I began, I had no idea that it would end up growing to the dream that has become. You start where you are today, where it is. What do you love to do? What are you excited about? And what kind of a dream life would you like to create? Because I've done it, millions have done it, and you can do it. And I'm here to encourage you to find your inner entrepreneur and take the leap of faith and build the life that you want. When I was 19, I started a restaurant with my brother. What do you think I knew about the restaurant business? Zero. You're right. We worked night and day, 3.5 years. And a man walked in one day and said, "You know, you guys have the best restaurant in town and I want to buy it." We looked at each other and went, "Sure." And there I was. In my early 20s, I had my first check. And I went, "Wow, this is awesome. Wait a minute. I'm unemployed. What am I going to do?" As it turns out, I went to Hawaii at Christmas to visit my folks who had just retired. And like most 20-year-olds, there wasn't a whole lot of planning in there. And I got off the plane and tried to rent a car. And there weren't any. They were sold out. And besides that, they were so expensive. So I complained to my dad because my friends and I wanted to go all over the island. We'd never been there before. He said, "Well, I don't know how to help you, but I have this gentleman who has a repair shop that fixes my car, so let's go see if he knows someone." So we went up and talked to him, and he had a side business where he bought old clunkers and fixed them up and resold them. And he had this really ugly green 4-door sedan. And I said, "Well, I don't want to buy it, but I'd like to rent it for a couple of weeks." He said, "You want to rent this car? Are you crazy?" I said, "Yeah." $5 a day was the bargain. We took the car, and my friends and I went all over the island, had a great time. When we came back, we paid him for it. He was thrilled because I think it paid for his car. We were thrilled because it was so cheap to have all this adventure. And when I got home and started telling people our green sled tales, guess what? I was totally surprised. All my 20-something friends all thought it was such a cool idea that if they could rent an old car, they would do it too and save the money to do other stuff. I went, well, my friends really like it. I like cars. Could I make a business out of this? So I said, well, who could I talk to? I went and talked to the automobile professionals, the car dealership owners, and the people who had repair shops. And to a person, they gave me the same answer. It will never work. But my friends kept saying it was such a great idea, and I kind of thought so too. It had kind of grown on me. So I went and rented a really cheap and bad location, bought a used desk, put a telephone in, and bought 20 old clunkers. Well, we quickly learned that maintenance is an issue. Because sometimes our customers would come in behind the tow truck driving like this. So I opened a second location thinking we would do better, got slightly better cars, slightly better location. Still lots of struggles. We didn't have it right. And about almost a year later, I was in another city and driving down a main thoroughfare, and they had just closed a gas station on a major corner. And a for lease sign had literally just gone up that day. And I thought, wow, oh, I can never afford it. But I phoned anyways and got the prices, and long story short, I went home and I wrote out everything that it would take to get it open, and guess what? If I put everything I owned in and borrowed every nickel I could borrow, I had just enough money to open. So I said, okay, but I got to go with a lot better cars. And we did. And we opened, and I put Rent-A-Wreck on both corners. And our business took off, and people rented our cars. And I had a full-time mechanic because we had 2 service bays, and we had really good maintenance then. They had a good value for their money. They told their friends. The business grew. And one day a man walked in about 8 months later, and he said, I phoned you 4 times and tried to rent cars, and you're always sold out. I go, gee, I'm sorry. He said, no, it's good. I said, why? He said, because I'd like to buy a franchise. And I went, you do? What's a franchise? And who would have thought that 10 years later, we had 10,000 cars in multiple countries on the road, saving people money so they could get transportation cheaply. My dream began as just trying something out because I like cars and my friends thought it was a good idea. And my dream grew, and as I grew, my dream grew yet again. So you don't need a grandiose dream to begin. You can begin from where you are. What do you like to do? What are you naturally good at? And what kind of a dream life can you imagine? Because I can tell you, if you can imagine it, you can actually build it. It's true. So I'm going to share some success keys with you. That now that I'm older, I can look back and see these elements that were inside of me at the time that I didn't know. And that what I have learned in mentoring CEOs in different countries and being part of this angel movement where we help these young companies is it's inside of every single one of us already. You have these tools inside you. And the first one I would like to share with you is this idea of passion. What do I love to do? Why not make a dream out of something I like? And I can tell you for sure, you can make a business out of almost anything. I have seen it for decades, and I am always in amaze what people can do with something they love to do. So, passion is simply the energy of bringing more of me into what I do each day, and bringing more of you into what you do each day. And here's the difference. How many people in our world get up in the morning and say, I have to go to work? Entrepreneurs get up in the morning and go, I got to get this done today, and I want to accomplish that, and I want to do this. It's a completely different path. And it's not easy. But it is rich, it is fulfilling, and you get to do what you choose to do. So passion is the first of these keys. After I'd sold Rent-A-Wreck, I got very involved in the environmental business, in the environmental world, and I was contributing as just a volunteer, and I wanted to make a significant difference, but I had no idea how. And 2 men showed up from Phoenix with a machine that transformed grain into a replacement for polystyrene packaging. but they didn't know what to do with it, and it was very early. They needed some capital and needed some guidance. So here was a way I could follow my passion and create a whole new business. So we partnered the people with the equipment and me with my passion and some capital, and some friends of mine invested who wanted to make a difference in our planet. And we started a company called Biofoam. And it was packaging that was so safe you could eat it. It was 100% natural. Now, we had some challenges, which I'll share with you, but we got accolades, and customers came, and recognition, and holy crow, who would have thought that I actually was asked to open the World Conference for the Environment in Antwerp in the 90s as a result of starting a business in Phoenix, Arizona? But that's what happens. It changes and evolves. It's amazing, and it can happen to you. The next thing I want to talk to you about is your attitude. Positive or negative? Do you think that you can build a positive life or get positive results in your business with a negative attitude? No, you can't. But I will tell you this. I wasn't born with this great positive attitude like those chosen few that seem to have it. I had to develop it and work on it and build on it, and you can do that too. It carries us through the ups and downs because you're going to make mistakes as an entrepreneur, and it costs time and it costs money. But we learn from our mistakes and we grow. And learning is never a mistake. I have found so many times that people are afraid to make mistakes. I encourage my employees to make mistakes because that means we're pushing, we're growing, we're building the envelope out. And so what I've learned for me to do is very simply this. I look for the good in what I do. I look for the good in others who are around and working with me. And the hardest part of all and the most important part of all is I look for the good inside myself. And from that, I can share that with my family, my friends, and in my business world. The next piece that's so important is this idea of commitment. Commitment to me is very simply the promise I make to myself and my future to stay the course that I've chosen to do. And it's a word that's become a little out of vogue lately, but I can tell you that I have learned over the years that the idea of commitment is not just in the tough times. Much to my surprise, commitment is a band in life that I have learned to live. And in the good times, commitment is just as necessary as in the bad, because it can always get better, it can always expand. Rent-A-Wreck had one of the most desirable positive problems in business. We were growing at 100% a year, every year for a decade. Along with that comes all the problems of growth and all the challenges. And there were times I had no idea what to do. I was lost. I'd never built a business this big. I had no idea how to run it. And at that time in my life, I was not wise enough to surround myself with mentors and advisors. And commitment pulled me through time after time. So let me talk to you about probably the least popular things that people like to speak about today, and that is the idea of persistence. Persistence is the thing that of the success keys I have learned to value most about myself, most about the young entrepreneurs and CEOs I will mentor, and there are few. And without it, as an angel investor, I will not invest in you if I don't believe that you have that inner stuff that weaves through life and commitment. And I have a very good friend, Ian. He's a marathoner and he's over 60. And here's a guy who in his 60s will run up mountains through the rain, cold, wind. And he tells me that these runners, these marathon runners, run into the runner's wall. And what that means is that they hit a place where they have nothing left. Their muscles are failing, their energy is gone, every fiber of their being is saying, give up, quit. And something permeates up through them and gives them that reserve they didn't know they had. They run through that runner's wall and across that finish line 26 miles later. It's that stuff that keeps us going. Edison had 10,000 failures to make his light bulb. One worked. What do you think changed the world? In biofoam, all these accolades, customers coming, but we had a problem. When you put this loose fill, it's called, it's like big fat Cheetos, and they surround a TV or a stereo or whatever computer in a box, and then they ship it. It shakes in transport. The truck shakes, the trains shake, and it would rub against itself and create dust in the box. Some of our customers didn't like it. Okay, we said we'd fix it. In 2 months, we came up with a concoction of chemicals that solved the problem. Then we had to pause. Wait a minute. If we do that, is that our dream, to be all natural? Is that our commitment to our customers, to be all natural? No. We had no idea that it would take 1,000 failed experiments in 2 years to get it right. But we finally did, because we didn't compromise dreaming our dream and our commitment. So the next piece I want to talk to you about is clarity. What is clarity? And why is it important? Planning goals, that's the first step. Planning and goals are obvious. You all know you need to do it if you want to get where you want to go, and there's only one reason I would say to do that, because if you're clear, it's easier. That's all. It's an easier way to get to where you want to go. For entrepreneurs, we have to ask ourselves 2 questions. And the 2 questions are really important. And I urge all of you to go home and spend a quiet morning or a quiet afternoon and just ask yourself 2 questions. It's amazing what comes. What do I want? What do I want? Big, bold letters, and fill as many pages as you can think. And out of that, you say, well, I want to make money, I want to get rich or whatever. That's not what drives us. Money only comes as a result or a byproduct of our dream and our passion and our commitment and giving our customers value for money. The money will come to you. You do those things, money will come, guaranteed. The second question you have to ask yourself is, why do I want this? Because I, as an entrepreneur, it represents me, and my company is who I am, and I am my company. So it's really important to get this clarity, because once you do, you come from this authentic place. And when we meet people out there who are authentic, we are so drawn to those people because they're real. They're committed, they're passionate, and they have a dream. We want to go where they're going. We want to help them. Really amazing energy. So I haven't talked about the how. What I can tell you is, for all of my dreams, for all of the things, the how shows up as I go. Trust that the how will come as you need it. And now, let's assume for a minute, imagine you have your dream. You're all in, you're committed. You're clear about where you want to go. What's missing? One thing, without which all the rest is no longer important. You must begin. Start now. Thank you.